Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Beyond the Bricks with Facilities Management, a production of Facilities Management Communications where we give you a behind-the-scenes peek into how facilities management builds and maintains a campus known for its beautiful architecture and grounds. My name is Trey Wood.
And I'm Grant Peterson.
And we are going to be talking to one Miss Joan Hicken, manager of waste reduction and recycling right here at Facilities Management. We're going to be talking a little bit about game day recycling. If you can name it, if it's an athletic event, we recycle at it.
Yeah, today we're going to talk about the importance of recycling and how it pertains to sports on campus. And Joan's going to let us in on all that kind of info.
Talking about football,
Basketball,
baseball,
and all the other sports under the rainbow that Auburn has. Okay. Now put me in a theme song.
We are here with Joan Hicken, manager of waste reduction and recycling at Facilities Management. Joan, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So we're here to talk about game day recycling. And of course, basketball season is upon us. So you've been very busy this year, more than likely already, and we'll probably get more busy as it continues.
We have been very busy putting out recycling bins, collecting bottles and cans from the stadium, from tailgaters, cardboard, and looking forward to adding our other fall and spring sports.
Do you have any kind of stats as to how much y'all have recycled just this year or since the beginning of school?
With regards to a football game?
Yes.
So in general, we recycle about 4 tons of material per game, so about 8,000 pounds. And as I said, that's plastic bottles, aluminum cans, and cardboard.
How much cardboard do you get?
We get about 3,000 pounds. It just depends, especially at the beginning of the season when we're loading in the stadium. The amount of cardboard goes up. But then throughout the season, concessions is getting things in. And so we grab their cardboard when we can. And then, as I said, we do plastic bottles and aluminum cans, both inside and outside the stadium, throughout campus for tailgaters. And then we get about almost 50 tons of trash. So that's almost 100,000 pounds of trash per football game.
Per game, not season. Per game.
Yes, per game. It's an incredible amount of trash.
100,000 pounds of trash. How big is your staff again?
We have 5 people.
5 people.
But we have a lot of partners on campus.
Yes.
Obviously, athletics works with us. The tailgating companies work with us. The vendors work with us. And then other units within facilities management, maintenance, landscaping, custodial. So
I was about to say 20,000 pounds per employee sounds like an uphill battle.
We could not do it without our campus partners.
So what's the best way as a goer to one of these games to be recycling your stuff, whether you're tailgating, since you mentioned tailgating, or being at the game?
Sure. Well, first I want to talk a little bit about waste reduction, because the first thing we want folks to do is think about not making that waste in the first place. So if you can have reusables at your tailgate, refillable containers, use mass transit, use the refill stations in the stadium. So let's talk a little bit about waste reduction first, but then segueing into recycling, as you asked. I mean, the best thing to do is to bring your beverages in plastic bottles and aluminum cans and make sure you find one of our 500 plus recycling bins, and that's just for game day, and recycle those. And to please not put non-recyclable items in there. We call that contamination. If it's not a plastic bottle or an aluminum can, you should not be putting anything other than that in one of our game day recycling bins.
Throw it away.
Toss it in the trash.
In the garbage.
In the garbage.
If it's been holding food.
Yes.
In the garbage.
Yes. Generally, there will be a trash can next to every recycling bin, so please make that right choice.
One of them's blue, the other one's brown.
Right. Could be green for game day. We
could be. That's right. The big
But
can.
blue is definitely recycling. Yes.
In general, how does your department, 5 people, a lot of work, for 5 people, how do they prepare for any kind of game day recycling in general?
Sure. So our game day prep takes a few days. It's not a one and done. So typically on Wednesday we start setting out the trash cans and the recycling bins.
Is this for like a Friday?
This is for a Saturday game day.
Saturday.
Yes. So we're going to start on a Wednesday, and we're going to put out throughout the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, about 1,400 extra trash cans. So we do that. We set them out, again, throughout campus. And we also put out additional garbage dumpsters. So we set out about 18 additional garbage dumpers throughout campus. And we, just at the stadium, we put more front end loaders. We have a trash compactor. We have 2 40-yard trash dumpsters just for cleanup. And then we have a trash compactor, and then we have recycling bins there. And then we add the recycling bins, as I mentioned earlier, and that's about 500 extra per game. So that's in addition to what's normally out on campus. And then on Sunday cleanup, so we prepare, we set out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday is game day. And then on Sunday cleanup, we have to bring everything in. So it takes us 3 days to set it out, but we only got 1 day to bring it in.
That sounds insane.
How long does it normally take that day to clean it all
depending
up?
Again on the game, the attendance, the opponent, whether we win or lose. It takes us probably about 6 to 8 hours to bring all the stuff in. And that's 6 to 8 hours going full throttle.
Right.
We're working hard, and my guys typically, the team starts about 5 in the morning, and we work until the work is done, because we want Monday to be a clean and green campus for everyone, as if almost a football game never took place.
Absolutely.
Well, we thank them.
Yes.
Somebody's got to do it.
And you.
Yes.
And that's insane.
Well, and that's why it's important, I think, for folks that come on campus, fans, tailgaters, those that go in the stadium, to make sure that they don't litter. As I said, to make sure that you think about what you're bringing on campus, and then to make sure that you use the designated containers properly, whether you're throwing away a piece of waste or recycling a bottle or can. That makes the campus cleaner, less litter, less pollution, and it makes everybody's cleaning up job a bit easier on Sunday. And again, we're not just the only ones cleaning up. There's a lot of other campus partners out there that are working hard to provide the best game day experience that we can for our fans.
That's an incredible amount. When you think about game day for football on Auburn, that is a campus-wide event. That is, I mean, you've got tailgaters across the board. You've got garbage cans out for them. You've got dumpsters out for them. You've got people close to campus sitting in the tents, spending all day tailgating. Not even counting the fact that you've got 87,000 fans inside the stadium. On a full game day. Take Penn State this year, for example, an absolutely full stadium. It makes sense that you have that much, but I feel like with basketball season, it's more of a confined event. Like it stays more around Neville Arena in that general vicinity, so it probably doesn't spread. Do we even have tailgaters for basketball games?
There are a few out there, and as the team has become more successful, it's been something that has sort of in its infancy but grown
up a little bit.
But we do have a large student presence on those games, and they're out there lining up to make sure they can get into the student section.
24 straight hours. As
we've mentioned, with the sort of the nascent success of the team, obviously there's been a higher demand and there's been more fans showing up. And we were full throttle putting out trash cans and recycling bins around the stadium, primarily in that green space. I think they call it the Village Jungle.
Right.
Around there, and working with student affairs and student government to make sure that, again, in large part, students made sure that they managed their waste and recycling properly.
Right.
And then, of course, our outside fans that come in, we want to make sure, again, that everybody has the best basketball experience that they can have. So that's something that we're going to expand. We're offering more, primarily outside, at the entranceway and in that green space, many more trash cans, and then recycling as well. So again, plastic bottles and aluminum cans primarily go in the recycling bins for a game day, and then make sure that all the other trash food, pizza, biscuits, sandwiches, goes into the trash cans.
I didn't even think about the fact that, yeah, that's a learning experience that y'all have had to get used to as well. Now all of a sudden, as it gets big, you're having to learn a whole new bag of tricks for sport that didn't have as much sway over the campus. Neville Arena being packed full is still less than 10,000 people. It's 9,121, but that doesn't count. Now you've got 10,000 people outside the arena, as well as 10,000 more confined inside the arena.
And we also, we were talking about football and we're talking about basketball, men's and women's basketball.
Right.
But we also offer recycling at softball and baseball and equestrian, soccer. So that's all out there, primarily bottles and cans, and then to make sure we use the trash cans properly.
That's wonderful. Well, it's a fantastic service that y'all offer.
Again, we always want people to recycle more and recycle right. But for example, the football statistic that I threw out, about 8,000 pounds on a football game, that's a good amount. We would really rather see the waste numbers come down and the recycling numbers go up. That's our ultimate goal.
Or even just see
the waste numbers come down.
Yeah, exactly. The recycling doesn't have to go up as long as you don't use as much trash.
No, because again, if people want to focus on waste reduction, which is number one in the waste hierarchy, that's the preferred method of, not having to deal with that waste in the first place is always preferable. But
absolutely,
once it's created, then we have to do the right thing with it. And the right thing is to either toss it in the trash or put it in the recycling bin, and to absolutely never litter our beautiful campus.
So with recycling in general, a lot of that leads into the discussion of overall sustainability, specifically for something like a college campus where you've got more than 30,000 students, huge numbers of faculty and staff all working together. How does college game day recycling also lead into the idea of sustainability, specifically for somewhere like Auburn or anywhere in the SEC or ACC or anywhere across the nation?
Sure. College sports are super important to promoting the ideas of sustainability to these large audiences. And as you mentioned, it would be students, fans, staff, faculty, in some cases a television audience. Right. College sports in general have made a commitment to greener practices as part of the growing sports sustainability movement. And this is something that supports the whole campus-wide environmental goals, and also provides the platform for environmental education and signals the university's commitment overall to sustainability.
That's great. Well, it's sports in general is such a big deal. Overall, in terms of every campus, athletics is a huge deal. So if it can play directly into sustainability, that's like the best of both worlds.
Absolutely. Sports hopefully brings us together, and then we can, as I said, use it as a platform to introduce the concepts of sustainability, environment, economic to our fans and visitors.
I love it.
That was great.
Give us a couple of tips that we can take into game day that our listeners can take into game days in the future. Basketball, football, gymnastics, whatever it may be.
So we can all make game days more sustainable with some simple actions.
Yes.
For example, you can ditch the disposables and you can choose reusables for your tailgate. You can ride Tiger Transit or carpool with others.
Been there, done that.
We always ask folks to clean up their tailgate areas after the game. You can recycle your plastic bottles and aluminum cans, and you can bring a reusable water bottle to the game and use the complimentary refill stations throughout the stadium.
Save that money.
That's right.
Save that cash money.
And hydrate.
That's right. Joan, thank you so much for joining with us today. We super appreciate it. On this, our second episode of the season ever. I guess that's self-explanatory.
That's usually how second goes.
That's pretty much self-explanatory. But thank you so much for being here. It has been amazing having you. You are a wonderful resource for facilities and for this campus, and we super appreciate it.
Well, thank you. And I just want to implore everybody to recycle more and recycle right.
I love it.
Thank you.
You.